Hi, it's Brad. Today I'm going to be making no knead big bubble focaccia. Actually, I'm going to be making focaccia pizza, or I think it's a Detroit style pizza. Anyway, the dough takes a long time, 12 to 24 hours, and I'm actually rushing it. So I'm going to get started right now. It's almost 8:30 in the morning. I should have started this at 6 in the morning. Anyway, so I have, following this recipe, which is John Mitzowicz. It's like, I guess he's Chef John from All Recipes. A lot of people probably seen his stuff. Anyway, so I'm following his recipe. I've weighed 500 grams of bread flour into this big bowl. Next, I'm adding yeast. I'm going to stir into the bread flour. I used King Arthur bread flour. Good stuff. I usually think yeast has to be hydrated, but apparently it doesn't. So hydrated and let to bloom, but I guess it doesn't all the time. So after that, I'm going to add the salt. So this was 12 grams of kosher salt. This is store brand, which I don't like as much as I like, or what is it? I think it's store brand. What is it? Yeah. So one thing, this is store brand and it's kosher salt, but I prefer the Morton. This has a different shape, and the Morton's shape is just better. This is more, it's coarse, but the Morton's is flatter, and this tends to be more crystally. Anyway, that's what I got. Stir in, add salt, add the oil. I've got this Rustico I mentioned last time. It's got a nice taste. Ooh. So 4 teaspoons. And this is 400 grams of, this is warmer than room temperature. Maybe it's too hot. Jeez. Probably too hot. I should be more careful. Let me get. 400 grams of room temperature water. Now, you don't really want to mess around with bread recipes, especially this one. Don't, because bread baking is kind of an exact science, I guess. That's the phrasing. You want the ratios to be pretty much the same. So I'm following the recipe exactly, and I bothered to get out the scale today. Normally I wouldn't bother, but for this, because I want it to be good and I want it to be right, I got out the scale. So it's no need I think I want to get all the flour in, so I'm just gonna kind of press it together, I guess. I don't want this loose stuff. I want it in the dough. Pretty sticky. So it's supposed to be. And I think it is, what I can remember, this is pretty wet. Okay. So there's the dough. Kind of get the light. This is a pretty big bowl. There's the dough. I'm gonna take this out and clean up the bowl so that the sides are clean, and then I'm gonna drop the ball back in and let it set till 4 or 5 o'clock. So what is that? Like 9 hours. Not quite the recipe, but oh well. Pretty long, and the dough should rise to take up the entire bowl. I guess we'll find out if it does. Okay, it's been 8 hours. So in reality, according to the recipe, it would need another 4 hours, but I'm just going to start now. I don't think there's any way this is going to fill this bowl. This is a especially big bowl, maybe a double batch. Anyway, it's kind of wobbly. I'm sure it's going to have an interesting texture here. So I've got my sheet pan, and I've got some olive oil on it, a fair amount. I'm just going to drop this onto it. All right, now I'm going to stretch this, try to stretch it evenly to fill up this sheet pan. stretch it, not tear it. It is a technique, although it's my first time. Yeah, not like that. Okay, I could probably do this a little bit. I could probably get this a little bit better, but that's fine. So now these are important. This is important. Take one side and fold it over a third of the way. Go back. Take the other side and fold it over the rest of the way, making kind of a packet, and then now the opposite way. You can see on camera. Fold it over a third of the way. Fold over a third of the way. Now I have this roll, and now I let it rise for another hour. And I'm going to do this step 2 more times. So the final time I'll put it in my brand new heavy duty, what is it, carbon steel Detroit pizza pan, or just carbon steel square baking pan. But the thing is that this it's like almost 3 inches tall, and that's important because the dough is going to rise that high. You need a heavy duty pan to keep the dough in and crisp up the crust of this. So that's why I got this pan. Anyway, I guess I'll see you in an hour. Okay, it's been an hour, and the dough is risen, I don't know, maybe twice, maybe it's expanded in size twice as much. So now I do the same thing. I stretch, fill up the pan. I remember, so I used to work as a dishwasher at a really fancy Italian restaurant in the middle of nowhere in Driftwood, Texas. So there was only one, and although I never did it, it was one person's job to make all the focaccia, and they went through a lot every single day. There was like a stand mixer that was about the size of the oven, right? And a giant tote that they filled with dough. And someone every day for a few hours every single day would make the focaccia. They'd shovel out dough ball onto like 10, 12 sheet pans, different sheet pans, and do this. And it's been a long time So when I had the pizza, I'm doing this because I had a pizza in San Diego that I really liked, and it's made with focaccia dough. It had been, as I went to look it up, it had been forever since I thought about it, and I realized that's exactly what what the person did, and it really is. You just kind of get your fingertips and spread the dough. It has like it's sticky. I watched, someone do it quite a bit. And Chef John mentions it's a fun texture, and it kind of is. I was gonna say at first it's kind of like snot, but now it's like, I don't know. It's just like kind of like jelly. It's an interesting texture. It is kind of fun. Anyway, another hour, and then another hour, another rise, and then it goes into pan for, well, it's supposed to be 2 hours, but I think I'm just gonna let it go to 1 because I gotta get dinner on the table here. It's 5 o'clock. So see you then. Okay, it's been another hour. The dough has once again risen. I think it's larger than last time. So I got my pan out, and there's quite a bit of oil in it. I could maybe use a bit more. I don't think I'm going to. And I'm just going to basically, repeat the same thing as last time. And I'm going to call that done, and it's going to rise for 1 more hour. Actually, the recipe says it should rise for 2, but I can't wait that long. So 1 more hour. Okay, so after having it in the pan for an hour or 3, actually, I decided it needed to take that long to rise, and you can kind of see it now that it's fully filled the pan, which, the recipe does say it needs to take this long. I've gone, 3 hours longer than I meant to, but otherwise it's actually right on time for the recipe. Anyway, I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to bake it. I'm going to dress it as for pizza and bake it again. And I guess I'll see you when it's pizza. All right, I just took the pizza out of the oven, and it is sizzling, and it is beautiful. I'm going to let it rest for a few moments before cutting, but this looks like a delicious pizza. Okay, the pizza's cooled down. It's ready to cut. It is really thick, It's almost as large as the cutting knife. Like what I had, I think, was it 1, 2, 3, 4? It gets 8 cutting eighths. And that is one slice, a generous slice. Here, you can see the rise of the dough. It's a good inch and a half thick in its thickest. It's got good crust on the outside, cheese melted to the outside of the crust. My mouth is watering. I gotta have a bite. There's a lot of smaller light bubbles in it, but it's not that heavy. But you know, anyway, my first time making it, it's pretty good. I'll probably make it again. Anyway, Detroit style pizza.